Newton would often pause to turn over a thought. How could a world so precisely ordered, where apples fell by the same rules that moved planets, have come to be by chance? The question was not an afterthought to his science, it was the very ground beneath his work. Though the quote attributed to him, "In the absence of any other proof, the thumb alone would convince me of God's existence," was first recorded decades after his death, it captured a truth at the heart of his worldview. For Newton, every detail of creation bore the mark of a wise creator. Born in 1643 into an Anglican family in Lincolnshire, Newton was raised by his maternal grandmother after his mother remarried and left him behind, a wound that shaped his solitary, obsessive nature. Even as a boy, he showed a hunger for understanding both the natural world and the divine. He took apart clocks to see how they worked, and pored over the Bible to trace the threads of prophecy and history. When he arrived at Trinity College in 1661, he was required to commit to holy orders within 7 years, but his growing doubts about mainstream doctrine led him to seek an exemption. This began a lifelong quest to uncover what he believed was the true faith beneath centuries of corruption. As he revolutionized science with his laws of motion and gravity, Newton saw his work not as a rejection of God, but as a way to read the Creator's mind. He wrote that studying nature was like reading the book of God alongside the Bible. Mathematics was the language in which the cosmos was written, and its elegant laws testified to divine wisdom. Unlike later thinkers who cast God as a distant watchmaker, Newton believed the Creator was actively sustaining the universe. Gravity itself, he argued, required divine oversight to keep the solar system stable. He even studied alchemy, not as superstition, but as a way to understand how God infused matter with life and purpose. Yet his calculating dates for historical events. He feared publicizing these views. His friend William Whiston had lost his Cambridge post for similar beliefs, so most of his theological work remained hidden until his papers were auctioned in 1936. For Newton, faith and science were not rivals but partners. He once wrote, "Atheism is so senseless. When I look at the solar system, I see the Earth at the right distance from the Sun to receive the proper amounts of heat and light. This did not happen by chance." Whether contemplating the structure of the thumb or the orbit of Jupiter, he saw design woven into every layer of existence. In his later years, when asked how he had made such profound discoveries, he replied, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants," a nod to the wisdom of those who came before him, both in science and in faith. In the end, Newton died as he had lived, convinced that the pursuit of truth, whether